Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Today I'm going to share another technique with you. We're going to create this card, and the technique I'm going to show you is how to use watercolor pencils along with your blender pen. So we're going to start with a piece of vanilla cardstock. And I've chosen to use the Free as a Bird stamp set today. And I'm going to be using this big stamp here because that gives me lots of room to be able to do my colouring. So normally with watercolour pencils and a blender pen, you would want to use a solvent-based ink, which is called StazOn, but this comes in black and I want a softer colour. So I've been playing around to see how I can use our regular water-based inks and still get a successful result with the watercolour pencils. So I'm using soft suede and, as I say, just a little piece of vanilla cardstock. And then I'm just going to stamp a nice image on my piece of card. And then I'm going to go in with my pencils. Now I've chosen a couple of several colours, things like this is the pumpkin pie, that's going to do the little beaks. And I'm using crushed curry and daffodil delight for the little yellow birds, and Bermuda Bay and coastal cabana for my bluebirds. So I'm thinking I've got canaries and bluebirds here today. And then obviously a nice brown, that's the early espresso for the branch. And then I've got the garden green and the flaming flamingo to create my flowers. So once I've stamped it, I then cut it out using my layered oval framelets, and I got really, I think, the largest two from there. And I've already started doing a little bit of colouring in, but the key point is to make sure that you don't keep the blender pen on your card stock too long, because that will make the water-based ink run, and then you'll get a sort of a goopy mess rather than your nice clean colours. So the blender pen has got two ends and they're both exactly the same. There's no sort of big or small one, and they're sort of a clear colour, and I don't know what the liquid is in them, but they kind of feel slightly damp. As you use them, you will find that the tips do start to discolour slightly, but the key thing about that is to make sure that you sort of clean them between working on each colour. So I'm going to do a little yellow bird, and I am going to do his little crest first. And I'm just colouring in just like you would with any normal colouring pencils. And I like to use a sort of circular motion for no other reason that's what works for me, especially if I'm using like this round. This little bird's body is quite round. So I've kind of put down a darker colour there, and now I'm going to go over with the Daffodil Delight. So the first one was the crushed curry. This is the Daffodil Delight, and it just allows me to mix my colours. So then you get your blender pen, and I'm going to have a scrap of paper next to me so that I can clean. And then all I'm going to do is to gently, literally as it says, blend in the colour. And you'll find that all your pencil lines disappear. And you kind of get a nice smooth colour here, like that. When I've finished doing a piece, then I am going to just gently put my blender pen on the side and rub gently on the side until all the colour is gone and it runs white. This will never return to a white colour. It just won't, but you're getting all the colour out of it. And then I've got things like here my branch, which I've already coloured in to save some time, but I'm just going to blend it now, and you can see it brightens it. Well, it smooths out all your little pencil lines, but it also brightens the colour. And here again, I'm just going to run out with my pen there on my paper there. I've coloured in my little a couple of leaves here, so I'm just going to blend those, and again just take the colour out. Pop your cap on between times because that is wet, and you don't want it to dry out. And then I've just got a couple of little flowers that I haven't yet done, like that, and again go in with my little blender pen and just smooth out the lines. And I'm really working very, very quickly just so that I don't disturb and upset the brown ink, which, as I said a moment ago, is water based. So you can just see it's coming along nicely. Now I think I want the crest of this little birdie to be a bit darker, so I've got the crushed curry pencil and I'm just going to go in on top, and you can do that. You can build up your colour and get a really lovely effect. Going in with my blender pen again just to bring out, just to wiggle out my my drawing lines. So there we are. Really cute, those little birds, aren't they? So that's it as far as the technique's concerned. So we're just going to move on and just finish the card. And I have pre-cut some pool party, again using the layered ovals, and I'm just going to pop that on top and just make sure it lines up and got a nice even border throughout, like that. And I'm going to use some dimensionals to hold it in place, so I'm going to put 4 down like that. Oop, there we go. I already went ahead and stamped out my greeting, which is from the same Free as a Bird stamp set, Your Friendship Means the World to Me. And again, I've just layered it onto some pool party and a couple of dimensionals there. I've got, this is a crushed curry layer, and the dimensions for this are going to be on my blog, which if you look below this video you will find a link to it. And I have embossed it with the Scripty embossing folder, and you can just see it's got a nice bit of texture in there. And I'm going to attach that again with some dimensionals. So on the bigger piece I'm going to work with 5, 1 on each corner and 1 in the middle. And that is then going to go onto my card base, which is just a regular card base, 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. And this one is in pool party. Make sure the script is upside, is the right way up, otherwise it's going to be a bit embarrassing. There we go, like that. And I've also got a liner, and this is vanilla, very vanilla, and I've used the same stamp set as before. It's got all these little parts in it. It's got some really a single bird here, a lovely leaf, some flowers and buds. So it's a really versatile stamp set. So I'm going to pop that in like that. And then I'm going to use some designer series paper, and this is my paper. It's a new one in the 2019 holiday catalogue, and it's actually called Monster Bash. Well, when you look over the other side, it does have some Halloween themes on there, but the reverse side has got this lovely, I don't know, Florentine type pattern, which attracted me very much. And so I've cut a square. I think this is 3.5 by 3.5, and I am using some of the very vanilla, what's it called? Very vanilla scallop lace trim, and to attach it to my piece of designer series paper, I'm going to use some snail, which is unusual for me. I don't use snail very often, but I've got some snail here, and this lace does have a right and a wrong side, so I just make sure that I got the wrong side facing me, and I'm just going to attach it with I'm not going to stretch it, I'm just going to, that's better, and then trim like that. Let's get my silicone mat out the way. I use my silicone mat so that I would not get the snail adhesive on my workbench. So I'm just going to lie this down with some liquid, and I'm just going to let it hang over the crushed curry onto the blue a little bit, just to give it a little bit of extra dimension. All right, and then we're just ready now to put the focal piece, the little bird with all our lovely watercolouring on there, and I'm going to bring it down as far as I can so that I don't lose out too much on all my beautiful lace, and then bring this greeting in and overhang it slightly, and then just a few pearls, and I think we'll be done there. I think I'm happy with that. So I hope you've enjoyed sharing this technique with me, and me showing you how to make a card when you've got the technique done. As I say, there's a link at the bottom of this video to my blog, where you'll be able to get some more information, dimensions, and also a link to my online store, so you can go ahead and buy all the goodies to make this card yourself. Well, thank you very much for spending time with me today. I certainly appreciate it, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.